Welcome everyone to Explaining Trump's Tariff Plans in 5 minutes. This isn't your average policy discussion. We're unpacking one of the most debated economic strategies of the decade. So grab a seat, because we're about to delve deep into the world of tariffs under Trump's administration. Let's start with the basics. Trump's vision is to impose tariffs that could reshape global trade. We're talking about a universal tariff, potentially 10% to 20%, on all imports into the US. This is not just about revenue, it's about sending a message. But there's more. Specific countries face even steeper penalties. China might see tariffs as high as 60%, aimed at curbing what Trump perceives as unfair trade practices. Mexico and Canada, our closest neighbors, are looking at a 25% tariff wall starting February 1st, 2025, possibly as leverage over issues like migration and drug trafficking. This tariff strategy is like a grand chess game where every move has significant repercussions. On one side, you have the potential for a manufacturing renaissance in America, with jobs coming back home. But on the flip side, there's the risk of inflation. Prices on everything from cars to groceries could increase, making the daily cost of living steeper. There's also the paradox where some industries might lose jobs due to the higher cost of doing business. It's a delicate balance where gains in one area might lead to losses in another, and the overall GDP might shrink under the weight of these new trade barriers. Here's where it gets really interesting: the international response. When you slap tariffs on goods from one country, you're not just affecting trade, you're poking a global beehive. China, known for its retaliatory measures, might hit back with tariffs on US goods like soybeans or tech products, affecting farmers and tech companies. Canada and Mexico could respond with their own measures, potentially affecting sectors like automotive and agriculture, where cross-border supply chains are crucial. This could lead to a domino effect, where one trade war might spiral into multiple, potentially dragging the global economy into a slowdown. Politically, this is a high-wire act. Trump's selling point is jobs, 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 appealing to the American worker. But there's a thin line between national pride and economic reality. If prices rise too high, the political capital gained from job creation might evaporate with public discontent. Trump's strategy relies on voters remembering the jobs created over the price they pay at the checkout. There's also the legislative aspect. While Trump can enact some tariffs unilaterally, Congress might push back or seek to modify these policies, especially if they see public or economic backlash. How does Trump plan to pull off this tariff strategy legally? He's dusting off old legislation like the Trade Act of 1974, which allows for tariffs based on unfair trade practices or harm to U.S. industries. Then there's the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEPA, which could be used for rapid tariff imposition in times of national emergency. And let's not forget Section 338 of the Tariff Act of 1930, which gives broad authority to the president to adjust tariffs in response to changes in trade conditions. But using these laws aggressively might lead to legal challenges or require congressional approval for long-term implementation. Trump isn't just applying a blanket tariff. There's a nuanced approach targeting key sectors: steel, iron, aluminum. These aren't just materials, they're national security concerns in Trump's view. By making foreign steel more expensive, domestic production could surge. The same goes for pharmaceuticals, where reliance on foreign supply could be seen as a vulnerability. Even technology sectors like battery production and rare earth minerals are on the radar, aiming to reduce dependence on countries like China. Critics argue this approach is akin to using a sledgehammer on a pin. Economic theory suggests tariffs can protect specific industries, but at the expense of overall efficiency and consumer welfare. There's also the risk of retaliation spiraling out of control, leading to a decrease in international trade, which could hurt the global economy. Moreover, if these tariffs don't lead to significant domestic manufacturing growth, they might just be a tax on consumers without the promised benefits. Underneath the immediate economic impact, there's a strategic layer. Trump aims to use tariffs as leverage for renegotiating trade deals on more favorable terms for the U.S. It's about reshaping the global trade landscape to favor American interests, possibly leading to better deals or even new alliances. The long-term goal might be a stronger, more self-reliant American economy, less dependent on the whims of global markets. What are your thoughts on Trump's tariff strategy? Do you think it's the right move for America? Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.